Hello, Boys and Girls Club. It's Roger. I have a little lesson, little thought stuff for us today, and it's about the ideas of barriers versus lessons. And this is a whole concept of thought that we're going to call choice dichotomy, which is honestly, it's a big word that just means a difference of thought. Choice being an option to do something, and dichotomy being a difference of two things. So, like, once again, choice dichotomy, a difference of two thoughts, right? And the two thoughts we're talking about are barriers versus lessons. And a barrier is a wall we create up in ourselves that blocks ourselves from learning and allows us to ignore our mistakes. While a lesson is something we take from our actions and our mistakes and we grow from it. And so when we create barriers, we're telling ourselves that we're not good at something. And we're telling ourselves that, we can't learn from our mistakes. We can't be the best we can be. And this happens when we're frustrated, when you're doing an art project and it just doesn't turn out the way you want it to, or you're doing your sports and you just can't get it down the best you can, or the best you think you can, or you're doing your homework and you just can't finish it on time, and we create these barriers inside of ourselves that say, like, I can't do it. And the reason that's a problem is because the next day we're going to be doing the exact same thing. Your practice will be the next day for your sports. You're going to have to do an art project again at some point in your life. You're going to do homework. You're going to be doing things that you do for fun and you do for school and you do for everything else. And when we create barriers, we're making it harder on ourselves because we're not able to grow and learn from the mistakes we make because we're shutting ourselves out from it, right? Which is why we have our second option, which is lessons. And this allows us to learn from our mistakes and grow. So when we have a homework assignment we can't finish and it's just not getting done and you're not doing it right, we can say, I'm never going to do homework ever again. And who does that help? It doesn't help anyone. It doesn't help you. It's not going to help your grades. It's not going to help your teachers. It's not going to help really anything you're doing right now, right? But we can say, well, why aren't I doing the best I can? And maybe you just need to give yourself more time. Maybe you need to be easier on yourself. Maybe you got to put yourself in a different place. Maybe studying or doing your homework where you're doing it isn't the best place to do it, and you got to do it at a library or in your own room or wherever else you can do it that's quiet. Maybe there's distractions, right? And when we think like this, we grow, right? Because it's positive thinking. We're thinking about how we can be a better person, how we can do the best we can, how we can grow and learn, which is all we're trying to do, right? That's all we are trying to do right now. And when we decide to create a barrier and a wall in ourselves whenever we make a mistake, that's us saying it's a negative thought. I can't do this. I won't do this. I don't want to do this, right? And this is important because, we're going to get frustrated. You're going to be upset. We're all going to be doing creative things and things that require a lot of work and passion. And it's not easy. It's not easy every time, right? But when we take the effort to try and think about and learn what we do, I think we grow and we become stronger people for it. And I have an example just for myself this last week. I had a spray paint, right? And I made this little sign for a project we were doing, right? And I don't think it's the best I could do. I really don't. At the time, I got the job done, right? But I could have just decided, hey, this isn't good enough, and I don't think I ever want to do this again. I'm not good enough at it, and I'm just going to do something else. I never want to do this again. I never want to spray paint. I never want to draw. I just did that, right? Well, if I did that, when I made something the next day, I wouldn't have done what I did, right? But I thought about it, and I said, well, I need to take more time. I got to be more patient. And if I focus more, I can do better. Right? And that's not always the answer for everybody, but that was the answer for me, right? And I only know that because I took the time and thought about it. I didn't create a wall inside of myself. So I was able to create this, which I think looks a lot better, right? And yes, it's a little different, right? But I think it looks a lot better and I enjoy it more, right? And so this is why it's important to create lessons for ourselves in everything we do all throughout our lives. And I know it's hard because every day there's a lot of things going on and you don't always want to think about your mistakes. But the sooner we talk about them, the sooner we're able to grow from them and the fewer mistakes we make over time. And it's important to remember that we all make mistakes and it's okay to do that with anything we do.